Yes, yes, yes. Actually, maybe no. It's hard to say. It is hard to say. This could be a really cool bike. Then again, the R6 is freaking cool, man. I can't make heads or tails with this. Like, part of me thinks this is good, part of me isn't so sure. What's good, guys? Welcome to today's episode. This is the Motobanter show where we talk all about up and coming motorcycles, news, and just anything of importance in the motorcycle world. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so, and we're gonna jump in because this is gonna be a juicy episode. So we all know that the 600 class hasn't been doing so well, and I'm talking as a world perspective. In Thailand, right here, they're not too bad. A lot of guys like the look of the R6, and the ZX-6R seems to sell okay too because it's a good price. But on the whole, the 600 class is kind of dying. And I actually did just forget the Honda CBR 600R as well. The 600 class is not doing so well, and it's a little bit worrying as I am definitely a big fan of the 600 class. Huge fan, in fact. If you want to see me ripping on a freaking MotoGP track with a ZX-6R, click the card in whatever corner, now. There's enough content out there, news articles out there, there's enough general stuff to make this video pretty informative and worth making. This is where the rumors for the R7 pick up, and interesting rumors they are. Okay, so investigative mode activated, and here is the first image of the R7. Now, this is not an official image. This is just a terrible Photoshop job that someone's done. You've got the rear hugger from the MT-07. You've got the MT-07 engine and frame and wheels, and they've just slapped the R6 headlight on it and the rear tail on it. This is kind of give you a little idea of what could be in the making for Yamaha. Now, the first article I want to get to is this one over here, Rider Parts article, and as you can see here, it says, is Yamaha planning to use the MT-07 engine for an R7 Super Sport? Now, this photo is even worse than the last one, to be honest. It's all an MT-07 middle and rear, and the front looks like off a R15 or something that they have in Thailand. But you can see here, I've highlighted this here, Aprilia's RS660. Now, that's a bike that is taken off in the world of motorcycling. Not here in Thailand. Unfortunately, we basically don't have Aprilia in Thailand. It's very rare. But the RS660 is a bike that seems to be pretty freaking popular, bumping the cc's above the conventional 600 cc. So it's not a 600 class, because that class is kind of dying. But yeah, the Aprilia's RS660 is a pretty popular bike right now. Will this be the platform that they will go for? Will they see the Aprilia RS660 as competition for them with a new R6 or R7? One of a super surprising thing that I've found is if you just type in Yamaha R7 on Google, there's already been a Yamaha R7 made. So this, to me, gives even more traction to the idea of there being legitimately an R7. As you can see here, the Yamaha YZF-R7, and it says production run of only 500 units, and it was designed to compete in the Superbike World Championship and the Suzuka 8 hours endurance race. And that's where, this is the page right here, the Wikipedia page. If you want to see the Wikipedia page, that will be below in the description. All of these links will be in the description. So as you can see, that Yamaha actually has dabbled with a 750cc R7 before. Now, obviously, it's not going to be a 750cc. I mean, I doubt it. I don't think they're going to bore out the already 689cc of the MT-07. They could, you never know, but it's clearly going to be based on the MT-07's engine and the MT-07. Now, seeing this Wikipedia page, seeing that they've done a YZF-R7 in the past, makes me think even more likely that they might bring it back. And that just added with how popular the MT-07's engine is. Like, you've got the T7, the XSR 700, or the Tenere 7, I call it the T7. You've got the XSR 700, the MT-07 obviously. What else have you got? Is that it? I think that's it. They've put it in a lot of bikes. They've got the touring ones, the 700, Tracer 700. They've got so many bikes that they've used the MT-07's engine for already. It really would not surprise me to see a YZF-R7. So as you can see, I've got another website here, which I believe is in Chinese. It's another image right here. You can kind of see what they're going for, showing the MT-07's tank and rear section and exhaust and the engine there, but with the front of an R6. There's quite a few images floating around. This is where I saw I think that's the original R7 from maybe before, like what we were just talking about on Wikipedia. So there are actually, there is some solid history of Yamaha making a 700 class sport bike, and just with how successful the MT-07 has been, that engine, it seems like a kind of no-brainer. And this is one of the most important articles that I want to get to. It's a Visor Downs article of could the Yamaha R7 sports bike based on the MT-07 be happening? And they feature an already built MT-07 engine based race bike right here, as you can see in those lovely GTYR colours. I think that's the correct colour scheme. So here, when you scroll down on the article, they have that same image here showing the concept of the R7. They say that there is another factor that has been missed by some, and that's that the MT-07 has been competing in sports bike racing for quite some time now, and with fairly high level of success. And here you go, there you go. The YZF-R7 is built by AP Moto Arts, is an out-and-out race bike built from the ground up to succeed in championships like the Super Twin class and the AMA Super Light Twins Super Stock class. It's a stunning machine, but let's not forget it's a race bike with all the trappings of such, and it's those single-minded details that would actually make it a bit pants on the road. Now you can see that these people have specifically chosen the MT-07's engine to be their race bike. Now, when you factor in that with all these concepts going around and the history Yamaha have done with a 700cc class for racing, and the R6 being discontinued in the majority of the world, it does make it very interesting. You've got all kinds of different looks that people thinking it may look like, but I really do think, based on Yamaha's history and success with the MT-07, its engine, I do see this bike coming. If I was to bet on it, I would say yeah. I would say that the MT-07's engine, i.e. the R7, is a real thing. I would say take notice now, guys, because I do think this will be made. I want to ask you guys, do you think that this would be a good bike? Now, I'm kind of split personally. I owned an MT-07 for like 2 years almost, and I've owned 2 MT-09s. To be honest, I'd rather see a R9, like a MT-09 engine in a race fairing type bike, because the MT-09 engine has so much grunt. Now the MT-07 is probably the best twin I've ever rode. I mean, okay, I've drove Super Duke and stuff, but the MT-07 engine is so good. It's so good. If you factor in the price at all, it's by far the best twin that I think I've rode, for sure, if you factor in the price. I don't know how good it would work in a sport bike frame though. That's the question. Not literally in the frame, but in the artwork of a sport bike, I'm not convinced. The MT-07 is so good at being so punchy. I wonder what Yamaha would do with it, and I think that's what the most interesting thing would be. What would Yamaha do to that twin engine? I'd be very, very interested to find out. Will they be able to make it a bit peakier, make the rev limiter, you know, make it able to rev higher, maybe soften the initial punch a little bit? You know, when you're at full lean on a track, you don't want like too much kick. I wonder how it would fare. So they do have a very good base, but will they do it? I think they will. I think you need to look out for it. I'm not convinced it will work, but at the same time, I would rather the R6 than this potential R7 every day of the week, personally. But you know, that's just me, and the R6 is very good in a dedicated raceway. It's pretty bad for the road. The MT-07 is awesome for the road. Maybe it meets both very well, track and road, as a new R7. Let me know what you guys think anyway. That's enough rambling for me. I hope you enjoyed the Motobanter show today. If you want to support the show, links in the description. You can check out my store. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Motobanter out.